This service, as always, is brought to you by Paul Martin Menswear. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening now? My name is Dee Curran and welcome to Drive 105's Match Night Live's YouTube channel. Let's take care of business first. If you are new to this channel, why don't you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell too, so you can keep up to date with everything we upload on this site, including our fan cam coverage and our Derry nostalgic content. Feel free to check out previous interviews with Stewart Greacen, who goes over the 3 years in which he represented Derry City Football Club. Darren Kelly, who recently told us all about the fixtures against Shelbourne in 2006, which Derry City won the League Cup and drew 2-2 down in Talca Park in controversial circumstances. And also, why don't you check out McNeville's interview too? He talks about the 2 years he spent at Derry City Football Club, and he can tell you a thing or two about winning the FAI Cup. And that brings us to today's subject. As this is released, Derry City faced St Patrick's Athletic at Richmond Park, and we do have a rich history with the Inchicore team, especially in the FAI Cup. I thought it would be fitting to revisit the three finals of 2006, 2012 and 2014 with a player who featured in all three finals. I hope you're sitting comfortably because I'm about to get Derry nostalgic with Barry Molloy.
I was very fortunate that I got to play in the old Lansdowne Road. Obviously, I grew up watching Ireland games, and it was amazing to play there. And obviously, the last game that was ever played, and the fact that it was such an amazing cup final, and then obviously going to Aviva again, I was very fortunate to play a couple of games there. So it was amazing, the difference. The old one, from what I can remember, it was obviously a long time ago now, but it was like just proper old school, like wooden and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Old wooden sort of benches and things, from what I can remember, but it was a lot smaller. The new Aviva, obviously the change rooms were top class facilities, you know what I mean? You had the massive shower area, you had the big sort of built-in baths and all that kind of crack, but the difference was massive. Obviously the size and the individual lockers in the new stadium, we things that was very, very impressive, but just chalk and cheese really the setup between the old one and the new one, you know what I mean?
Just to paint a picture for anybody who may not remember around the time, Stephen was away to Dunfermline at this point and came back just for the final. Who was overseeing training and what did it look like?
We kept training basically the same, but just Paul Higgerty and Declan Devine overseeing that, and the whole build-up was very, very similar to what we would have done for any other game under Stephen, so not much really changed. To be fair, obviously it was a strange situation with Stephen going to join Dunfermline and then agreeing to come back and manage in the cup final, but looking back, Stephen got us to that position, in fairness to him. A few people weren't maybe sure about the setup and that, but we definitely wouldn't have had that season without Stephen, and I think having him back to lead us out in Lansdowne deserved for him, you know what I mean, because he put a lot of hard work on and took Derry from relegation, sort of, they challenging for cups, challenging for titles and stuff like that, so I was delighted personally that he was back.
The 2006 finals described as one of the greatest FAI Cup finals, but I would describe it as the coldest FAI Cup final I have ever experienced. But because of the stormy conditions, was there ever a question of the match being called off?
Never. No, not once did we ever think the game was going to be called off or that we wanted to be we were on a high from the season we had. We just wanted to play the game. But obviously 10 minutes into the game when corners couldn't be taken and free kicks wasn't getting taken, Big 40 was losing his rag because the ball wouldn't stay for him. But I think it just added to the cup final, to be fair, and the experience, and even people in the stands saying how cold it was, and just sort of added to what happened on the pitch as well. It made it an unbelievable final.
Was it difficult to control the ball at ground level?
Well, that was always an issue for me anyway, so it didn't really matter. No, it was difficult, you know what I mean? Obviously, people taking free kicks and corners and things like that made it more difficult, but I didn't really notice during the match, you know what I mean, any major difference. It was a big wind and stuff like that, but when you're on the pitch, you kind of zone out of stuff like that. Didn't really notice anything major going against us or going for us, you know, in terms of ball play or anything like that. But I think it was a good game of football under the circumstances.
A great bit of skill. They set up Mark Farnes, Derry City's first equaliser. What was better, Paddy McCourt's skill and ball through, or Mark's finishing?
Two of them were different class, to be fair. Firstly, Paddy's pass to get us back into the game, just to cut open our defence, because they were a very, very good side, to be fair to them. And going one up, it obviously gave them something to hold on to, but if ever you want someone to get on the ball and make something happen, it was Paddy, and they put the ball through like a day of a needle, you know what I mean? And no better man to be on the end of it. And Mark's finish was top class, like, you know what I mean? You couldn't have asked for two better people to be involved in it.
Well, with Paddy, was he identified early days as a man that needed to bring the class to this cup final?
Definitely. A big game player, Paddy. Any game was the same. You just give him the ball. Didn't matter where he was, if he was on the back third or like near our own goal, you just gave him the ball because he trusted him. He knew he was going to make stuff happen. And big games as well, they just took it up a level. And same with Mark as well. Like, he always stepped up in the big games. Like, but Paddy was the main man for creating and even like taking the pressure off the back four or the midfielders. He just give the ball to Paddy and he would make something magic happen.
Well, the quote from the commentary is, he's as tall as Mount Errigal. We're talking, of course, about Clive Delaney scoring the equaliser to make it 2-2 and they take it the extra time. What did you think of Clive Delaney as a player in his 2 spells at Derry City?
Clive was brilliant for me. Probably didn't get the credit they deserved, over his period at Derry, but I thought he was an excellent centre half. Put his body on the line, played through many injuries as well. Obviously, his height was brilliant for us, you know what I mean? But he was a top class player, top class professional and stuff like that. But I always enjoyed playing with Clive, and getting a goal in the cup final was massive for us as well.
At the end of the 90, he's are brought over to the crowd for the team talk, much like he's were at the League Cup final. But in those situations, with all the noise that's going on around you, can you actually hear the instructions that's being given out?
You can. You do focus on. Obviously, it's nice to get the crowd behind you and stuff, and even more so in the League Cup final when he brought us over to the Brando outside the ground, like that was even more so you could hear the noise there. But I think when you're in the zone and you're just trying to focus on the game, you do sort of block that out a wee bit. And we all love Stephen Kenny, like, so we were listening to every single word he was telling us. Do you know what I mean? Hoping for that wee bit of wisdom from him, like. But again, I've just showed you the man management of Stephen, like, that he done it in the cup final and it paid off in the League Cup final, and the same again down Lansdowne as well.
Stephen Brennan scores an OG that gives Derry City the victory. Retrospectively, do you sympathise with him?
Definitely. It's someone has to lose on the day, do you know what I mean? But it's a horrible way to lose a cup final. Do you know what I mean? Penalties does too, like, but the score on OG, it's very, very difficult. And he had a great season for them, like, very, very good player as well. So it's very harsh on him, like, but someone had to lose, and we were very, very fortunate. It paid off for us, but unlucky for him, really.
Peter Hutton in 2006 is the captain in the fixture, scores one, sets up one technically. I'm surprised he never tried to claim it. And he gives away the penalty for Pats, but he was also manager in the fixture in 2014. Was there a massive difference between Pizza, the captain, and Pizza, the manager?
He was just very calm, do you know what I mean? As a player, brilliant leader. Really, really calm on the pitch and leading up the games and stuff like that. And probably similar when we were leading up to the cup final. Again, very, very calm, trying to keep it, all the boys just sort of relaxed and things like that. But unbelievable player, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, it didn't probably work out the way he wanted it as a manager, but an absolute legend for Derry City and an unbelievable player. And I was very fortunate they play under Pizza.
In the 2014 final, fantastic semi-final against Shamrock Rovers, but there's a bit of dip in form going into the final. Pats were having some issues with themselves behind closed doors, but why did Derry City struggle against Pats?
I think Pats were just a better team, to be honest. I remember leading up to that final, I played probably 6 or 7 games right back. Played right back in the semi-final over 2 games against Shamrock Rovers. Did pretty well, like, nothing spectacular, but just solid. And I played probably 5 or 6 games toward the end of the season at right back. So my head was kind of in the zone for playing right back. And then leading up to the cup final, I had a couple of sort of injuries that I was nursing. I was never going to miss the cup final, but when I named the team, I was playing centre midfield, and it was sort of put me off a wee bit because my head was from, right, I'm going to play right back and I'm just going to try and keep things tight. So that kind of put me off. But I just think on the day, to be honest, they were better than us. We didn't probably play our maximum, and they did. And they had a top class centre forward who scored 2 in the day.
In the 2012 final in that season, he's actually lost the final in a penalty shootout, the Satanta Cup. Did Declan and Higgsy use that as inspiration in the build-up to the 2012 final?
No, I might be wrong here, but I don't think I don't think that was ever sort of motivation. Going to a cup final was motivation enough, and it was a great opportunity for us to get some silverware, and we didn't want to lose 2 cup finals in one season. That would have been a nightmare, but again, the preparation was brilliant for the 2012 cup final that we went down the day before, and Declan brought us all to the Aviva just to get that sort of out of our systems and have a look around and get sort of familiar with the stadium, the changing rooms and things like that. But the build-up was really, really, really good for that 2012 final. I think that's probably what gave us the edge over Pats.
The 2012-2014 Pats team is obviously made up of the team that won the league in 2013. Comparatively, were they a tougher opposition than the 2006 team?
Well, obviously they had a lot more confidence and a lot of experience in winning trophies. Do you know what I mean? They had a lot of good players and players who had come back from England as well, so they're very, very experienced. But it's very difficult to say which team was better or not, you know, because the 2006 team had some cracking players as well. Trevor Molloy was playing very, very experienced. Dave Mulcahy was playing very, very experienced. So there was a lot of quality in both teams, to be fair, but we were a different team as well in 2006 than we were in 2012. And so it's very difficult to gauge which team was better or not, but they were both very, very good teams that have played.
When the team sheet came out, a lot of people were surprised that Rory Patterson had been dropped for Barry McCourt. You know, whenever he scored a second goal, he runs to the bench and he airs how he felt. Did he actually say in the change room or plead his case that he should have started?
No, obviously he was disappointed. Playing the cup final, he had scored 2 against Crusaders as well in Southampton. So again, Rory was a massive game player. Like, you know what I mean? If you wanted someone on the end of a ball to try and score, it would be Rory. So he was obviously raging that he wasn't playing because he was a goal machine over his time at Derry. But I mean, the decision paid off in the end up. Like, he was very disappointed, but he obviously had another 10% then to go and prove people wrong and go and prove Declan and Higgsy wrong, that they made the wrong decision. And it proved that was the case. Like, to be fair to him, the response was unbelievable, and without Rory we wouldn't have won it that day.
Sean O'Connor scores an absolute cracking free kick at the same end he scored in 2006. Shortly after, Stewart Greacen scores an equaliser, and I think you know what's coming here. There's a photograph, Barry, of you and Greacen. I can't find it, and I said this to Stewart a couple of weeks ago. I can't find it, but it's the most romantic photograph I've ever seen in my life, and it could be in the front cover of the Notebook. Now, was there a bit of a bromance between you and Greacen?
I have it on my phone.
Have you really?
Holding each other, aren't we? I think, to be fair, that picture was probably a build-up of 9 months in the metro going out together. That was just a build-up of that, and obviously it spilled over in the emotions of the day. Like, but no better man to get a goal in a cup final. I think he had a very, very tough build-up to that game because I think his mother fell sick and she wasn't well at the time. So for him to even play in the match and then they score a big goal, like, that was massive for him, and I was absolutely buzzing for him. Like,
of the 2 successful finals, which were your favourite?
I always say 2012 was my favourite because I think we were underdogs. They were probably a better team on paper. And the fact that I had my 2 kids there at the time and I got them on the pitch and they got to experience it and they still remember it now. So for me, that was my favourite trophy with Derry City. But, you know, the first one was unbelievable as well. Like, I always say that my favourite ever trophy in cup final was the 2012 one.
We're going to wrap it up with a little either or from members of squads from the 2 finals. So first of all, David Ford or Gerard Doherty?
Two of them are amazing, but I'm going to have to stick with my boy, Big Gerard.
Clive Delaney or Stewart Greacen?
Me and Big Stu spent more time in the metro, so I'm going to have to stay with Big Stu.
Paddy McCourt or Barry McCourt?
Barry was brilliant, but Paddy's different gravy on me.
Killian Brennan or Michael Duffy?
To be fair, Mikey was just starting at that stage, so I'd have to go for Killian. Killian was brilliant for us as well. Like,
Patrick McElhinney or Gary Beckett?
I'll have to go for Beckett. Paddy McCourt was a dream to play with as well, but I think Beckett made more of a contribution overall in his Derry career.
Mark Farren or Rory Patterson?
Another tough one. 2 absolute goal machines, but can't say no to Mark Farren. What a player and what a legend, like.